came up off of slinging Mary Jane, slinging Mary Jane, slinging Mary Jane. We came up off of slinging Mary Jane, slinging Mary Jane, slinging Mary Jane. Hey, GRE came into my district. Take off your shoes when you enter my whip. But she bad, but she bad, but she bad to the bone. I get much satisfaction, count cash and I'm gone. Niggas accident prone, always fall off. I ain't fanning no bro, made her take her clothes off. Just a trill young nigga, business since it scrolled out. I ain't fucking with no labels, we know how to hold out.
Phone steady buzzing, that's the clientele. Thumbing through the door, shipping loads, moving by the bill. Grinding on the daily, made it legal.
Black man, black fan, black woman. Welcome to Black Dad Code, where everything we do before family, but nothing before family. I'm your favorite guy from Major High, Mr. Kelly Major.
Kevin Bailey.
I'm Charles Williams. And today our guest will be Byron Hoskins. We're going to interview Byron Hoskins. Byron, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's up, Byron? What's up? What's up? First of all, thank you for coming to the show.
Likewise. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, my guy. Already.
Well, a little bit about me. Born and raised Chicago. Moved here to Oklahoma back in the 90s. I currently work for AT&T as internet support. Also am an officer with Communication Workers of America, which is the National Labor Union. I hold the rank of local vice president. I also hold the chair for legislative committee for CWA for the state of Oklahoma as well as Missouri.
Can you explain to us what that's a little bit about in like simple people like me terms?
Yeah.
Well, in simple terms, the union is a mediator between the employee and the employer. So we're their voice. If issues come up, they come to us and we work it out with the company. We also, if the company decide to take disciplinary actions against one of our members, it's us that come to their aid for defense.
So you're like the voice for the little.
Some people call us is the work lawyers.
Work lawyer.
Yeah.
At my location, I'm known as Johnny Cochran.
Okay.
I was given that name.
Oh, you was given that name.
Right.
I wonder why is that? Because I've been knowing you for years and years and years and years and years.
Mine is because of litigation. So there's when you get say written up or even term from the company and a member wants to pursue it and fight for their job back or fight to reduce that disciplinary level or even remove it, we go through what we call a grievance process. During that grievance process, I argue with the company pretty much on their behalf. Okay. My success rate is about 93%.
Okay.
That's how I got Johnny.
Okay.
Oh, John. So you have any kids, Byron?
Yes, I have 4. My oldest son is 31, currently serving in Germany in the United States Air Force.
Oh, wow.
I have 2 twins, soon to be 23, and my youngest daughter is soon to be 17.
So she about to graduate from high school.
Yep, she's currently a junior at East Central.
Where is East Central at?
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa. Okay. Black Wall Street. All day long. Yeah.
So tell us about what they had, any interests that they do, any special talents, anything that they.
Talking about the kids?
Yeah.
My oldest son played football and baseball. He actually had a scholarship to Jackson State.
Nice.
Went there 1 year before he joined the military.
Yeah, I heard you say that. What branch?
Air Force.
Okay. How does he like that?
He went career in 2012.
In 2012.
Okay.
Wow.
So he signed for the 20.
Oh yeah. I was in the service, and if it hadn't been for war, I probably would have went career. But after I went to Iraq, it sort of shut the show down.
So when y'all say career, what does that entail?
You stay in the military for 20 years, and you can retire. You got full everything retirement after 20 years. So you better basically say, this is the job I'm gonna do for the rest of my life for 20 years, and then you retire what's good about it is you retire with benefits people don't get to retire with until they're in their 60s and stuff. So if you go in like at 17, you can retire at 37.
Yeah.
You still can have a whole nother career and everything, and you got all retirement benefits coming.
Exactly.
Okay.
That was the conversation we had when he decided to go, because technically, even back in 2012, the only, I would say, career that he probably could have went into and been successful, and it's not really guaranteed, is law enforcement.
Long.
Coming from the Air Force as a non-commissioned officer.
Right.
Gotcha. So Byron, how about your father? Was your father in your life? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us a little about you guys' relationship and just kind of.
Well, my mom and dad separated when I was like 6, but of course I spent times in both households. My dad is retired Navy. He's now retired tax sergeant for Chicago Police Department.
So let me ask you about that relationship with him being kind of
Chicago
like what was that? Was he more disciplinary, or was he more structured? Or?
Yeah, he inadvertently taught me the game of being sneaky.
Gotcha.
So he inadvertently taught me the game of being sneaky.
Oh, okay. All right.
So coming up in Chicago, unfortunately, we was all even profiled back in the 80s.
Gotcha.
However, what kind of kept me astray was his name. It wasn't that I wasn't getting in trouble. It was that his name.
Yeah.
So when PD rolled up on us on the block, they used to literally, hey, we need these numbers, so get in the paddy wagon.
Yeah.
They take you down for disorderly conduct, which is just a municipal charge. You don't even got to go to court, but it affects the stats. But when they doing their check, my last name come out.
Like,
hey, who's Hoskins? Who's Hoskins? What's your dad name? James, Jimmy. Area 5? Yeah, let him go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we used to do some dumb stuff. I mean, when I say dumb, we would literally walk down the block, 10, 11 years old, group of us. We'll see a SWAT car coming, and we just take out running. The goal is not to get caught.
They
I
can
was
chase
playing
us.
games with the police.
Yeah.
Basically.
Like we making chase. We're playing tag. You're it. Police, you're
And they
it.
would flood that area. So we hitting gangways, and some get caught. Sometimes you get caught, sometimes you don't. You know, one time I got caught, and that's when I played basketball in high school. But this one officer chased me down for over a mile. 1-on-1. I'm looking back, I'm pacing myself. I just finally gave up. Then he brought me back. After he gave me a wedgie, he brought me back to court some more of my friends. There was a lieutenant out there. And as soon as he saw me, he was like, Byron, I still don't, to this day, don't know him. And maybe I was at a function. He was like, I'm going to tell your daddy. And the funniest thing, he was like, yeah, no, officer, they caught me. Who is daddy? He work out west, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, your daddy getting a call from me. Go on, get your ass home.
Yeah.
I went home, and one of my friends, his name was Eric. They had like 8 of us on their knees.
Yeah.
And my friend Eric, can I go home? He was like, where your daddy work? He like, for the post office. He said, yeah, nah, your dad fucking my wife. You going to jail.
That's sort of the situation that we just left out of in Memphis.
Exactly. Hey, but see, he going to jail, he ain't getting his ass beat.
Well, he ain't
Right.
killed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that kind of, I mean, we talk about that too, but that's the difference. I mean, them, I mean, like I said too, in that time it seems like it was more, they still get in trouble, but not the shit that's going on today.
Yeah, no, it was going down.
It was?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was still going down. It was just, it's more cameras now.
Gotcha. Right.
I was literally with a guy, that same guy, Eric, as he got older, became our neighborhood man. He could never get caught. He was always taunting the police, and one night, me and him walking down the block, TAC officers pulled up, slammed us against the car. They didn't recognize me. And Eric just kept messing with him. Man, y'all can't get y'all done my head, blah, blah, blah. Stupid ass. These black cops, these not even white cops.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we got a joke for you. And they looked at me, ran my name. I'm like, dude, I'm 2 blocks from the house. You get the fuck out of here. I ain't see Eric again.
Wow.
A month later,
Yeah.
he went to jail.
He went to jail.
They put, because I went to one of his court dates, they put 211 grams of heroin on him. In Illinois at that time, that's a Class X felony. You automatically facing 30 years because they hitting you with attempt murder.
Did he even have that?
No, I'm with him. 200-something grams.
He wasn't even into that.
No, he was
But
into it. He was
that,
into it. He just
and
didn't.
they
He never
couldn't
caught
catch
him.
him, and he
Oh,
was
they
talking
never
so
caught
much
him.
smack, so they set him up.
That part.
Set him up.
Yeah, and because he's in it, it's hard. It's the cops' word versus your word, and everybody know you do this, so you guilty at that point.
Yeah. So they will wipe you out.
Yeah,
Have wiped you out.
Yeah.
I done seen some of my friends against, even back then, oh, y'all, whack ass cop, blah, blah. Take that long radio and crack your shit dead upside your head. Now you sitting in Jackson Hospital with a cuff on. Because when that happens, even today they still do it. We seen it back then. They place charges on you to try to uphold that charge. So they will hit you with a resisting arrest, assault on a police officer.
Right.
And then you don't know what in the report says. You know, they might have said subject swung on me, connected with me. I was able to defend myself, or subject in the middle of our fight was reaching for my gun. You hearing all this in court, like, that didn't happen. But now you have cameras. And unfortunately, even with the cameras, we're still losing.
Yeah. It's the system, though. I think it's just systematic. Even with the cameras, they can come up with a scenario.
They try to reverse it.
That you're wrong.
Now, on the flip side of that, I kind of see why they do it, because I dabbed into law enforcement. I worked 3.5 years in Muskogee Police Reserve after I moved here. So I know both sides. I know how they write their reports, and I know why they write their reports. So
it's a dangerous job.
Yeah.
Period. And the police kind of fear for their lives too. At
one point, in some instances, I would say yes. In a lot of instances, I would say no. You can't fear for your job or your life if the subject is running from you and they're 20 feet ahead of you and their back is to you.
You're right. And you still
now, there are some scenarios where I had a fellow officer, it actually made the news here, and I remember, I wasn't on the force then, but I know the officer that got into a police shooting about 10 years ago in Muskogee. He got called out to a wedding for a disturbance. It was an ex-boyfriend at the wedding. And I saw the full body cam. And the bride was like, hey, is this guy, we just want him to go. He actually, the cop walked past him, turned around, went to him, and he just did a safety check on him. So as he was trying to pat him down, the guy took off. Again, 15 feet in front of him. As he running, his weapon fall. And when I saw it like this, dummy finna turn around and pick it up. Once you put your hand on a weapon, it's over game. He did. He came down. The officer stopped, and you can see him draw down on him. He's like, don't do it. As soon as he picked, now I don't know his intentions. We would never know. But you should have kept running.
Right.
So once your hand come on it, I
you have no choice but to shoot at that point, because you don't know what's going to happen.
And then you got to understand the rules. I got into a lot of debate with the Trayvon Martin situation, because a lot of people come to me asking my opinion since I work law enforcement. And I'm like, he gonna get off. Oh, yeah, he's wrong. 911 told him to sit in the car. He gonna get off. Right. Why you say that? Because of Florida law. It's the law.
It's the law.
Oklahoma, stand your ground, covers your property. You can't follow somebody around a corner. That's on you.
That's funny. That's true.
In Florida, that law covers you. So even though
no matter
he engaged Trayvon, and Trayvon got the better of him, under their law, if he feels that his life was in danger, he can escalate to deadly force. Now, I'm not saying it was right. I'm just I think everybody was confused now. Oh, you taking his side? Nah, that's Florida law.
That's the law.
Well, that's one thing we talked about a lot,
Yeah.
man. Like, you got details of the law. I mean,
Right.
The elements.
The elements,
The elements that make it a crime or not.
Yeah.
Now to lighten the load before we get, I know we just had All-Star weekend with basketball. So I'm gonna lighten the load
In Utah?
before y'all start going deep into what the police done and didn't do. And you being from Chicago, Jordan being the best player ever, they're saying now. LeBron has passed Kareem. But what do you feel about the white boy winning the dunk contest? I think that's the first
can't
in the
comment too much
history of basketball. A white boy has never won the dunk contest.
So, like, I'll say this too. So I've been watching that kid since he was in high school.
Right.
The boy's always been bad. He's
been-
always because
yeah.
I watched him when he went to Georgetown and then he went to Texas Tech. So,
Really?
but I'll put it to you like this: he won the dunk contest and he showed out, but he practices that shit and
Yeah.
he puts in the time.
He puts
People
in
in
the
the dunk contest now, man, it ain't like how it used to be. People come out there half-assing.
They wouldn't
He won
practice.
that dude won that dunk contest for dunks he's done over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
Like, and
exactly.
he's been on camera doing these dunks.
And he had some
And he-
spectacular dunks.
Yeah, so like some of the dunk that he won the dunk contest with, he's done better on videos.
Wow.
But it's just the first time he was in front of that national camera, so people were like, oh shit, this white boy, like, but nah, he been doing this. He been doing that. Like, and that's why I said to someone else, I said, man, I've seen this kid do this back in like 2-3 years ago. But I mean, it looks better because I mean, you got the lights.
And he
you got
probably
all-
was what was he, a week called up from the
Yeah,
G
he
League?
just come from the G League, so he was in the G League, just signed a deal. So I mean,
And it was in Utah.
And he was in Utah. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So you
It's
think they lowered the
location.
rims?
Nah, I'm just
Well, the
saying.
fans are going to be more odd of their own doing that
No,
in
these
Utah.
are some, no, those are some good dunks.
Yeah.
He didn't know.
So,
he
put on-
did a 760 or 780
540,
down there.
yeah. I watched him.
Those were some good dunks. Because I sit back and watch it. I was like, did they just get this guy this? No,
Nah,
he actually won that.
I've seen him go out there and like I said too, he holds his own. He's going out there with brothers in high school and he's made these brothers look bad. So like the boy had. That's what I said too when he won. I was like, man, he's been doing this for a while. The boy got skills. So
Yeah.
it didn't really shock me. I just like I said too, people don't put the same time into it. So like I'm like, hey, he put the time in, so he gonna get it. So
He put it in it. Yeah.
what y'all think about the game though? I thought I didn't
Trash.
watch
I
it.
didn't watch it.
And see,
Trash.
that's part of something too. That I'm glad you brought that up about the dunk contest and him winning. The dunks you say were really good, worth winning. I don't doubt that. He putting the time and effort to it, so he's dunking right now at a high level from what you're seeing out there. Because we don't really focus on the dunk contest no more. The dunk contest ain't what it was back in our days. Back in our days, the dunk contest was like, ooh, everybody couldn't wait to see that for All-Star.
Right.
And they prepared for that. Jordan knew what he was gonna do before he came in. They had like, oh man, I'm gonna do this time. It was more effort into that.
Yeah.
So now, if we were still putting that kind of effort into the dunk contest
Bringing out cards.
and doing all of this to the level that this dude is doing, would he have won the dunk contest?
And that's a good question to put up because I mean you got guys now.
So
that
we
do it for
saying we didn't
profession.
prepare ourselves.
We stopped preparing ourselves in that area.
So it's all about the 3-point shot. Because that's
It's
what the NBA is all about.
It's different now, right? As I'm saying, different periods of times we can see through our life that different focuses are number one.
Right.
And whatever the number one focus is, that's what we
we're
tend
doing.
to do. So our number one focus is not the dunk
'Cause
contest
we don't even remember
anymore.
who won the 3-point contest.
I think it was Dame.
What did they?
Yeah, I think
Look.
Dame won it.
Okay.
Got it.
All
Right.
All right.
But the emphasis isn't there no more in that like it used to be. It's shifted. And we've seen that now.
And they said the game was one of the worst games
Oh,
I've
the
played
game was
in
trash.
basketball.
Oh, I didn't even watch the
Dame was
Yeah.
trash.
I don't
I
know.
watched
The
Glimpses
game-
of
and
it.
I hate that, man, because like I said too, like the game was ass. Like
Yeah.
it just wasn't very eye catching. I mean, it wasn't, and I don't know.
Because they tried to change the elements where you can pick your own players from east or west or whatever. And that just didn't happen.
I don't know, but man, all
Because
these
Tatum
all-stars.
scored 55 points. I'm like,
Yeah. But nobody plays defense anymore.
That's
All
the
these
thing,
all-star
right?
games
They're
are
not
whack.
really playing.
The NFL's is, I mean, you playing touch football.
That would be
I mean,
fine.
these
I can
all-star
understand
games
them on
now,
that
man,
aspect,
they
though.
not what they used to
Concussions
be.
and everything.
Right,
I don't
just
want that
things
going
are just not what they used to be.
Yeah.
So not saying it's right or wrong, but when you're used to a certain culture of sports as a man, and it's not living up to that, it's a little lackluster.
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
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 Well, I guess we'll move on. And so, what's going on in your neck of the woods, Kelly?
Well, I wanted to know a little bit more about our friend Mr. Byron here. I know you had your father in your life. Did you know your grandfather?
I know about history. My grandfather was already passed by the time I was born. So
Okay.
I didn't know him. I seen pictures of it, know his background. Pretty much it. Both my grandparents on my mom's side was already deceased.
Okay.
Okay.
But I know the history.
And you said you had 4 children, right?
Mhm.
Were you married to any of the mothers or anything? Or are they by the same mothers?
No. My oldest son, I was married to his mom. My other 3, we just dated. But
Gotcha.
4 children, 3 mothers. You have to understand, the 2 middles are twins.
Okay.
Got you.
That's how they go.
Okay.
Got you.
So how was custody handled then, from the divorce and then with the other moms?
With the divorce, there was no custody about it. The strangest thing, our biggest argument in the divorce was the cat and dog. 'Cause I was moving from Tahlequah, the house, to an apartment in Tulsa,
Yeah.
and I wanted to take my cat. She didn't want the dog. Nobody wanted the dog. We went through obedience training. It was a Shar-Pei and child mix, just out of control. I'm not taking the dog. So every time the petition came in during the divorce, no.
Yeah.
And that was a tactic that I used.
Wow.
If she ever see this, my bad. 'Cause we cool now. But, but yeah, that was a tactic I would use because I was told that, hey, who filed? And they'd be like, I told them she filed. All right, anytime they can bring you a petition, every time you disagree with the petition, they got to refile, and that's money out her pocket.
Yeah.
So after about 7 months, she's like, I can take the cat.
Yeah.
Let me go get Skipper at the time. But no, I never had any custody issues or anything.
How'd you guys work out as far as like the visitation and all? I mean, how'd y'all do that?
Notification call. Since I'm
Okay.
living in Tulsa, an hour and a half away from Tahlequah, with Keys at that time.
Cool. So y'all had that relationship.
Yeah.
And always, and that's one thing we talk about too. Is just even if it doesn't work out, just having that relationship.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I mean, it's bigger than y'all's two. I mean, like I said too, it happens. People change, and it happens.
And that's a part of the skewed statistics, because statistically, your kids will be listed as fatherless kids,
Right.
because y'all not married, you're not in the home. And so it makes our statistics look like we're less in our children's life than the reality of it,
Right.
because you was there.
Right.
But you get no credit.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't even think about it. Me personally, come to my kids, I'm the hell with statistics.
Of course, none of us think about it.
Right.
It was just
I
saying,
get it.
but part of why we're doing Black Dad Code is
Kinda bring
we
light to
kind of
certain-
bring
yeah.
light to no,
Right.
we
Yeah.
are there, we are doing things.
Like,
We're-
fuck the statistics.
Right.
Right.
The statistics aren't telling an accurate picture.
Right. Because
Yeah.
we're in there, but it's when they go do the censorship, when they knock on the door and ask you how many people or is these kids in here?
Who the head of the household.
Yeah, who
Right.
the head of the household. I think we don't fall short. We just don't answer the door.
Right.
What the fuck, y'all?
I ain't gonna lie, because the census lady came by not too long ago. I was like, I ain't trying to deal with all this.
Yeah, I ain't trying-
I ain't answering the damn door.
Now, to touch on that, I would advise fill out the censorship.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Because it helps in the community.
It does help in the community, and
With the school
Okay.
funding.
being
and
a
everything.
legislative.
Okay.
My
Well, hey,
role.
I'm glad you said that because I shown up. I was
Because
like,
that's
I
what
ain't
they
trying to
say.
do.
It helps with the. That's how they figure out
Gotcha.
what's funds, which they say.
It also-
I don't know, which allocated funds is going to go in these neighborhoods. and
Right,
stuff like
but it
that.
also it's hard to gerrymander a district if everybody's reporting.
Okay.
If everybody's registered to
Right.
vote, you can't gerrymander. It's hard to gerrymander an area.
And give us the in layman's terms, because I don't know what the fuck.
Gerrymander, it means one party is basically redistricting or recoding the area or restructuring the area for votes.
Okay.
So where this whole area here might be for, say, like, well, he's not in office no more, J.J. Dorset.
Right.
Whoever holds the power in state legislature can come in and say, well, you know, we finna move my district over 2 more miles.
Right.
So instead of being a square, all of a sudden it's all these zigzags.
Right.
Prime example is Jackson State, Mississippi, going through it right now, where you have the white attorney general, white chief justice of the state, and they trying to inside the city carve out an area was predominantly just white and create their own police department, their own justice system, and so forth. Now, it's talk all over the country about it. Personally, I don't think it'll pass because it's going to die on the federal level. Because people going to start somewhere, you know, and then it's going to get killed. I really don't even think the Supreme Court want to touch that. So when the last Circuit Court of Appeals make their ruling, if it goes against it and the Supreme Courts don't decide to hear it, that Court of Appeals the last ruling.
And while you bring up the Supreme Court, though, we have to applaud Cassandra Brown Jackson, because she did get, you know, become the Supreme
Confirmed.
Court. She got confirmed or whatever.
Yes.
You know, not too long ago. So we got another black woman in there. Well, the first black woman, isn't it? So to be in, you know, to be in
Not the first minority, but the first
not
black
the
woman.
first, yeah, because Clarence is in there.
Yeah.
But-
Well, you had that. It's that Mexican
Thurgood.
lady.
Oh yeah, you had
Yeah, I forgot her name.
I forgot too.
chick.
Yeah.
And then Thurgood was in there too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hey, well, point being taken, do the census. Don't be like me, cause
Yeah, do the census.
How did your child handle the separation? How did your children handle the separation? Because you know you was married and being out, and then with the younger ones.
My oldest son, I really couldn't tell because he never expressed any feelings or show. You know, of course, when you show up, daddy, boom. You don't see like that sad withdrawal. Even when I drop him off, I think that's the fact that I was around. You know, you coming next week.
Yeah.
You know, you come to the game. All right, see you then. But it
So
was never
how
like.
old was he at that time?
Sad part, about the same age I was when
Like six
my
or
mother.
seven?
He was 7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just think, you know, during that time frame, kids was different. A lot of dads with the separation, we become Toys R Us. What I mean, of course, when you coming with something, so they anxious to see you. When they leaving, of course, you don't want to leave your kid naked. Hey, they leaving with something, so it's kind of hard to really gauge it. You know, and I admit I never talked about it. Hey, how you feel? I'm gone. It's like you stay away from that topic. We here. You know, I'm only a phone call away. And then he never saw me and his mom argue. So
and that's big too, man. Cause like I think just seeing that creates turmoil too.
Yeah.
Which, like I said too, within the kid, that I mean, the parents never really know, but like I said, the kid holds on to that stuff too. So.
And a lot of stuff the kids get is from other kids, as far as like household situations, and the other kids get it from hearing adults talking.
Right.
So if adults aren't talking negatively about the situation, then kids aren't going to hear that because they don't know. If this is what you got going on, how you know it's different or wrong?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you only know that because of the way the adults discuss things around them. So it's the adults that help either create a problem in the kids' minds or not create one, and how they talk about the situation around the child, what they expose them to.
That's very
Yeah, makes sense.
So what obstacles did you face as a father?
He's my first child, so everything was stumbling. You know, we didn't have internet back then like we do now. Everything was by ear because you didn't want to ask no one, because you know, as a young adult, sometimes we inadvertently prejudge even before you have your kid. I wouldn't let my kid do that. I wouldn't do this. Then when your first kid come, being a boy, oh, all that shit you said before is out the window. He doing that. He do what he want.
Yeah.
I will say, being a little overprotective. And what I mean by overprotective, don't be kissing on my baby all the time.
Yeah.
You know, keep your lips off. I know he got fat cheeks, and
Yeah.
and I don't do it. Even nieces, nephews, and so forth. And I don't. I pinch the cheek, but I stay away from it. That's just my own. That was just something, and I don't know if it's true. I just heard that, you know, coming up from my mom, aunties, something about a kissing disease. They have
Yeah, well,
break
it
out.
is.
Break out. I heard that.
I never seen it, but it's like that just stuck in the back of my head.
Yeah.
So the biggest obstacle, I would say, learning curves. Just trying to make it happen. Because you don't know what's right. Everything's trial by error.
Gotcha.
And then with the next kids, then it's completely different. Because with each one,
No.
or you was the same with all of them?
Well, the next one came twins. Now I got my first girl.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did that change?
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah,
Nightmare.
it's. She attached to me. She would literally start crying when she somebody else try to pick up. I have to disappear, literally. And I hate to say, you know, my son out of the twin, Tegan, he got the attention, but since it was the first girl, everything went to the girl. I got it. You'll be like, hey, toughen up. What you crying for? You know, it was an
So
incident.
you favorite the girl.
Hey, yeah, I admit that was on me. I remember my mom was in town, and you remember them Nokia phones? And I had a couple of them. I had one that worked, and then I had one that didn't. And then they were sitting on my floor. My mom was there, and my boy went over to my daughter and just took the working phone. And I'm looking at her, go get your phone. And she's like, my mom was like, don't be teaching them grandbabies that, blah, blah. She took the phone from him, hit him upside the head and pushed him down, ran straight to me. Now I'm sitting there looking like my mom, where she got TV? I don't know. I never done that. I don't know what that cat is listening. But again, obstacles in that is learning curves.
Yeah. So, do you have any questions for us, Byron, as far as fatherhood is concerned? And
Yeah.
go around the room.
Same question.
Yeah.
Kids.
Yes. I have one daughter. She has the same birthday as I do.
Oh, wow.
I have sole custody.
Okay.
Yes, I was married for 13 years and divorced, so I have sole custody of one daughter.
Okay.
And she's literally a mini me and look just like my mother.
Wow.
You like seeing the version of your mom?
Yes, yeah. She's my light skinned female side.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Right.
And I did hear you on the phone earlier said you was gonna cook some meatloaf and mac and cheese.
Yes. I'll make some
do that?
homemade. Yes, I'll make some homemade meatloaf and homemade mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, gravy, Sunday dinner. You know, Sunday
all
dinner.
that?
Yes,
Some
yes. I
cabbage
do
in
all of that.
Yeah,
We're gonna do some greens.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do some greens with some
Out the
smoked
can, or
turkey.
you gonna
No, fresh. Come on, man.
fresh.
But from the East Coast, North Carolina,
You
soul
know-
food.
You know where we going this afternoon?
You're also a black man. Man.
So what
What that mean? You know
knew
I
was
cook.
gonna say something.
No, okay, put it this way. You been, Kevin? Do I cook?
Hey, the boy gets down.
He know
gets
too.
down. He
Yeah,
gets
no,
down.
I know for
He
a
gets
fact he
down.
thought
Like,
it
he
was.
don't play in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's my thing too. So yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm the cook in the house.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah.
I mean, that's how I am.
And
My
I
wife
live
don't
with women.
My wife
Right.
don't like cooking. So
Yeah. You want it done right, you gotta do it yourself.
Yeah.
You kids?
Oh, so I am married. So I have 2 bonus babies. So I have my stepson.
He said bonus baby.
Hey,
Is that what we call him now? Bonus
Yeah, they say people saying them like the
My bonus
So
baby.
people are saying bonus shit. It's a new
Bonus
term.
babies,
Bonus
bonus
mother,
Like
bonus
your
child.
wife here now. Oh, so they
No,
bonus
my. That's what they say now. I'm saying like they're a bonus mom. They don't want to say they're a step or bonus children because
I mean,
nothing steps.
so man, I hate this.
I guess bonus is good.
No, so
That's a new saying.
yeah, man, I really don't like this step deal because it seems kind of cliche, but man, yeah. So my bonus babies, like, so,
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, bonus.
So I got my son Darius, and he just turned 23 actually last week. I got my daughter Via.
The bonus baby.
Yeah, Via's 13, and so Via, my daughter and his daughter are married. They're really tight.
Oh, they're tight.
And so I have my son Eli. He's 4. So yeah,
That's your son?
So that's my clan. So
Yeah. And you know my story.
Yeah.
We've been knowing each other for 20 years. So he know he know all my baby mamas. He know all the kids. He know, you know. So you know my story. I got 10 kids by 7 different women. And we, you know.
You downgraded kid?
Yeah. I only got 10, Byron.
I mean, you had 11.
10, no. 10 what is it? 10.
Carry the one.
Whatever. It's none that I'm not playing. I'm telling you. Timothy was number 10.
Oh, he was 10? I thought he was 11.
Whatever, bro.
We done went down a number.
Went down another rabbit hole. No, it's not. There's no other kids out there. Not that I know of. And he know that for sure. Because we've been through some, man, this guy been through some battles, wars, all that. You know, we've had clubs together. He's been security at my clubs. He's been the DJ at the club. He's been my security. Because when it comes to the Second Amendment, this guy,
Yes. Hey.
this guy got more guns than
I don't blame you, man. Hey, I don't blame you.
I know who to call. Just put it like that. Yeah, I know who to call. My Chicago brother, B. Oh, they tripping. All right, I'm on my way. So you know.
Yeah, we've been there too.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: are you active in the community?
Per se on the legislative side.
Okay.
So I've been down to the chambers in Oklahoma, fighting for different bills for the working class.
Gotcha.
Right now, there's a bill that's in committee right now for call center bills. Basically, try to keep. Anytime you dial an 800 number, you need help, like with your cell phone or internet. We trying to make sure that call is routed to the U.S.
Gotcha.
And not overseas.
Right. We have passed that bill, helped pass that bill with CWA in Louisiana, New York, Jersey. We also, everybody understand right to work, right?
Yeah.
And we never asked you what the CWA stood for.
Communication Workers of America.
Okay.
So with CWA, being on the legislative, 3 years ago, we flipped the tide in Missouri. Missouri is no longer a right to work state.
Really?
Okay, that's good. Because right to work state means
You
they
can-
can fire you for
yeah,
any
anytime.
reason. They don't have to have a
They
legit
don't have to
reason
have
to
a
let
legit-
you go.
Yeah.
So,
There's more to that.
okay.
Going
So-
yeah.
Yeah, going to
Yeah, you can be separated from a company without cause.
Calls.
You can separate yourself from the company without cause. You don't have to put in 2 weeks' notice. However, federal law still overlaps right to work, meaning they can't fire you for based on your race, religion, sexual orientation, sexual preference, civil rights. So they can still be held accountable. Now, when a union is in place at a company, even in a right to work state, our labor laws supersede state laws.
Okay.
So, for
Even
instance,
if it
working for
is-
AT&T,
Yeah.
you're not under right to work. You're under what we call just cause. They have to show just cause to terminate you.
Gotcha.
So it
they
has to
still
be a
have
paper trail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be a paper
Like,
trail.
yeah, verbal, written.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So there's still some standards within.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So give us a little bit more information about unions. I mean, you kind of dropped some nuggets and stuff like that.
So that's why I brought this paper out. So basically, a little history about the unions. The common knowledge is unions pretty much, and I believe it was a workshop for females on the East Coast in the 30s, but actually it goes back to the coal mines in like the 20s. The phrase redneck has been used as a derogatory word toward whites, but they was one of the first unions, and they wore red handkerchiefs,
Oh, okay.
and that's why they called them rednecks.
Okay.
So
And
over
they
the
was
years,
coal miners.
coal miners, unions came a long way. If anybody remember a little bit about their Black history, the Memphis garbage strike, where Martin Luther King ended up getting involved, was one of the first major walkouts in the U.S. when trash was laying around. And of course, it was unions more still segregated, because even though they believe in solidarity, you know, no black man has ever held a high position in different unions.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Even on the local side, you know, most locals was white presidents, or white vice presidents, or white secretary treasurers.
Or still to this
So
day.
are you one of the
No.
first? Okay, I know
No,
you're
no.
a vice president.
Yeah, I'm a vice president.
Yes.
I'm an elected vice president. No, it's changed. I'm saying
Oh, it's
now
back.
Gotcha.
our
Gotcha.
district
Okay,
is
okay,
ran by a
okay.
black man.
Gotcha.
And he has
Okay,
five
I
states.
thought, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
No, but back then in the 80s, 70s,
None. Gotcha.
you was a member,
But
but
you
you might
just
would have made shop
You just didn't have
shop steward. Yeah, that's about it. But because you down there, but up in the office and on a national stage, now it's changed. I will say that.
Hey,
So
well,
every
kudos-
year y'all have to vote on. So your position is
Every
open.
3 years for a local office, every 4 years national. This year, everybody's up.
Gotcha.
Oh,
So on a local, national, my district vice president that run the 5 states, which is MoCat, Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, and Texas, is now running for national. Our national president is retiring.
Okay.
And unfortunately, you know, politics come in. So it's about to be a shit show.
Okay, Byron. One of the things that we talk about in our show, Black Dad Code, each week is something that we feel should be a part of Black Dad Code, and then something that goes against Black Dad Code. So would you tell us something you think that should be a part of Black Dad Code?
Unity and solidarity among black fathers. I would truly say that, and we all have done it at some point. When we see something, we prejudge. When I say prejudge, we might see you dress nice and your kid look like shit.
Right.
But on the flip side, we don't know if that kid not being taken care of. We just went off perception of what we see. And I've been guilty of that as well. I always, and that's the way I was raised. Your kid has to look better than you. Your kid can look like a Jay-Z in the world and be dumb as fuck.
Right.
So who fault is that?
Yeah, the inside, and outside.
Right.
Yeah, the match. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you might be dressed up for work, and you might be picking him up from the park. But because I see this, I don't know what your backstory is. I just see that your kid dirty, you not.
Right.
I don't know that. Hey, he was just on a play date, and that's why he's dirty. And you just getting off work. That's why you look like you do. We just have to stop prejudging each other.
And that's crazy you say that because, man, sometimes I drop my son off at school. And usually I work out in the morning, so I come there looking crazy as hell. But I try to keep him fresh as hell.
Right.
So they see me looking like a bum.
And to society eyes, that's the way it's supposed to look.
Right.
But we don't know the dynamics behind it.
Right. Right.
So, you know, this kid, 12 years old, still in the 3rd grade.
And you know, that's it's funny that you mentioned that because it's one of the things I had to change with me, with my daughter. Because when I grew up, I was the cleanest kid in school.
Right.
I was clean. My sister was clean. I want to be clean. I want my daughter to be clean. But kids nowadays, they don't dress like we dress. And at first, I used to wonder. She got the Dunks. She got J's. She want to wear Converse and Vans. You know, she got designer clothes from New York. She want to wear the stuff from Lulu, whatever. You know, it's different with kids. But one of the things I had to stop and check myself on it, because the kids aren't into the fancy and the name brand and this and that no more.
Not more.
So that's something they're not picking on each other about or putting each other down no more about, because that's what came with that. Because if you wasn't a kid who looked nice, you sure was going to be known it. Yeah, you get ragged on. Now that's going away because they don't even care.
Yeah.
So I sort of had to bring down my thing then. You know what? That is a good thing. She's going to be clean. She's going to be neat. But I'm not going to emphasize that because kids use that against each other now, and I like that it's not being done.
And that's why they kind of brung in the uniform thing, so all the kids would look the
But
same.
I don't want that because that takes away individuality.
Yeah.
But you know, but like you said too,
But
like
that's why they brung it in.
That helped my pocket though. I ain't,
hell, the
I ain't gonna lie.
Yours too.
Yeah.
hell, the popular look now with the kids is having the shit that looks worn and run down. So like
Right.
the shit that
Except
you'd
the
have been
shoes,
embarrassed
though.
for back in the
Except
day.
they
like,
still
that
on
shit-
shoes.
Still
that
sky
shit-
high.
yeah.
They know our kids are still on shoes,
Right.
But in the black communities, but in the white communities, no. My daughter goes to Jinx,
Yeah.
and she
Everybody
got
got
she
New
got
Balance
Dunks
on.
and all that. They love Vans and Converse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and don't get me wrong. There's kids there who like J's and
yeah.
Jordans and stuff. There's only a few. Like Amira got 3 pair, and I'm like, why you don't wear them? Oh, they're nice. I only wear them on special occasions.
Yeah.
But here's the flip side to that. Just like we prejudge Air Forces and Jordans, don't think that the whites not doing it. They know which Vans you got on. We don't, 'cause we don't buy them Vans. They know which Vans are them. Hey,
Right.
you know, them 4 years old. You can get some up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
those are
all
the
out
new
of date.
Vans.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they know. Just like we can look and see, okay, them Air Force Ones or them Jordans, first editions.
Yeah.
They do the same thing with New Balance and Vans
Right.
That's real.
and Reeboks.
That's real.
We just don't know it because we don't talk that language.
Okay. So what's something you think should go against Black Dad Code?
Hate. When I say hate, you first gotta love yourself before you can love others.
True. That's 100.
So I would probably say self-hate.
That's a good
I
one.
feel you on that one, man, because that's a big time. I mean, we've never discussed that, but I think too, like I said too, if you don't love yourself, like it's hard to love everybody else.
Right.
That's
No,
a good
that's
point.
a good one.
Hey, I'm
Self-hate,
definitely
that's a
going.
huge
Yeah,
one.
that's a nugget right there. So
Thank
I'm
you.
definitely going. Yeah.
Well, Kevin, closing thought.
You know, having Byron on, I definitely would like to know more about like some of these bills. So like, I mean, since you're there, any bills that you got coming up that's important, I would definitely like you at least to hit us up so we can talk about it here. Because I know some of these bills go through and like people don't know and they don't.
Now, let's say hit the
Yeah,
news.
until they hit the news.
Right,
so like some of these
right.
bills are actually like they're important and like they just blow by.
And some are stupid.
And like you said, like this deal with Jackson, like I mean, like it's stuff like that until it hits the news, everybody's. So I will say too with these bills, I will say too. I know
You guys do know last year they had a bill proposed that made it out of committee to make it legal to hunt Bigfoot in the state of Oklahoma.
I did hear about that. I heard about that.
Those are
But
crazy bills.
But it was like once it hit the news though, so like I heard
It
about
died
that.
on the floor, but it made it out of committee. That's
Yeah.
where most bills dies in committee.
So I mean, like I say with that, I told myself I do want to be more informed about some of these bills because, like you said too, some of these things are going through, and it's like, hey, if everybody knew about it, hey, that wouldn't pass or that wouldn't go that far.
Right.
So, but yeah, that would be mine. So,
Chuck, closing statement.
It's to me, it's love. We got to start loving more one another. You know what I'm saying? Like I always have said that we need to quit mugging. You know, because in some states you can't mug, and when I say mugging, you can't look at people all crazy and just assume a certain thing. Because in New Orleans they ain't playing that, they gonna shoot you. In LA they ain't playing that. In Chicago they not playing that. So it's more of the, you know, like, hey brother, how you doing?
Yeah.
Have a good day, my guy. You know, it's getting more love. Speak to one another more instead of just like assuming that we're against each other.
Byron, closing statement.
Well, first I want to thank you guys for having me today. Kind of to piggyback what he said and what I said earlier, yeah, we have to, again, stop the hate, self-hate. We have to stop the assumptions. So kind of to piggyback again what he said, when you're walking down the street, we shouldn't try to stare each other down. You know, you ain't got to verbally communicate, just give a nod.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
You're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, just give a nod, acknowledge. You can say what's up. But yeah, we just, as a people in whole, as a father or as fathers, we need to. Another thing that I want to point on before I close: don't be afraid to ask for assistance.
Yeah, that's
A lot of time, pride holds us in.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and then,
foolish pride.
yeah.
All right.
So, person might be able to help, might not, maybe help with advice.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid to express yourself.
To ask. Yeah, it's real. And you, Kelly.
And my closing would be staying with the same topic is, you know, when we see each other, let's acknowledge each other. Let's, you know, a lot of people may not know it, but I'm a Muslim. And I'm taught when I see another person, I'm to greet them, may the peace and blessings of God be upon you. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm supposed to greet you and wish upon you, peace and blessings. And I remember when I first started traveling the country and the world as a teenager, coming from New York and our community, because in the community I was brought up in, we always acknowledged each other and said hello to each other when we seen each other out in public anywhere. Mm-hmm. Even if it was just a head nod, even if it was just that was just back east thing. You always did that when we seen one of us. So when I remember back then, whenever I go anywhere in the world and I see one of us, whether we said nothing or not, we always do this. And we don't even do that no more.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't even like, hey, what's up? You know, we'll be in grocery store, we could be in South Tulsa. There's only two of us in the whole store, and we don't know each other.
Right.
No, like, you know, and it's weird to me because I grew up where there was at least
A nod, yeah.
a nod.
I agree with
You
that.
know, so, and that sort of tends more into my beliefs, like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Acknowledge each other. Respect that there's another one of us there, human being that deserves that kind of treatment and recognition.
That's real.
Black man, black fan, black woman. Thank you for watching Black Dad Code, where everything we do before family, but nothing before family. Black Dad Code.
Like that, Cole.
Cause we came up off of slinging Mary Jane, slinging Mary Jane, slinging Mary Jane. We came up off of slinging Mary Jane, slinging Mary Jane, slinging Mary Jane. Hey, GRE can't minimize this bitch. Take off your shoes when you enter my whip. But she bad, but she bad, but she bad to the bone. I get much satisfaction, count cash and I'm gone. Niggas accident prone, horse fall off. I ain't fanning no bro, made her take her clothes off. Just a trill young nigga, business since it scrolled out. I ain't fucking with no labels, we know how to hold out.
Phone steady buzzing, that's the clientele. Thumbing through the door, shipping lows, moving by the bill. Grinding on the daily, made it legal, I ain't stunting 12. Pull up to your low with the package like it's in the mail. Dug it my whole life, but I got right and it ain't hard to tell. Steady throwing shots, better stop before you catch a shell. Enterprise major, moving mountains on a paper trail. Niggas mad in they pocket watching, motion like a snail, wish 'em well.
Anybody, they say we next up.